Hi, I'm Michelle Masters, the creator of Money Magic. In this video, I'm going to talk a little about some of the most common beliefs that people have that are in the way of them having the money or the experience of money they want, that creates struggle and hardship. You can see if any of these sound familiar, like something you've experienced or something somebody you know has. After that, I'll also talk a little bit about the reticular activating system, a part of your brain that's what actually uses your beliefs to create your reality. As I said, this is actual biology. This is not just kind of a passing craze. Let's start with beliefs. One of the most common beliefs that people have is that they have to work hard and struggle to make money. In fact, in the United States, this is so prevalent, it's called the Protestant work ethic. It's woven into our national identity. But this belief actually isn't true, because some of the hardest working people you'll see are making no money whatsoever. And people who are making a lot of money quite often aren't working that hard. The two aren't related, but that belief runs awfully strong in a lot of people. Other people believe that they have to give something up to have money. They have to give up time with their friends or their family, or they have to do work they don't love. And this also isn't true. There are people who are doing what they love and making good money, and there are people who are doing work they hate for not much money. Also, not having money doesn't mean you don't have to give stuff up. That's a whole different set of structures and beliefs. Some people have the training or the belief that money is evil. That comes through the distortions of a lot of religious teachings, and that's a really unfortunate one. Money is not evil. Money is just an amplifier. It just magnifies whatever else you've got going on. But there are incredibly good and kind and generous people who have money. And there are people who don't have money, who you sure as heck wouldn't want to spend a Thanksgiving with. Having money is not evil. What you do with money is more a reflection of what you've already got going on. A lot of other people think that it's not okay for them to want, or not okay for them to want anything for themselves. A client of mine recently said, if I want anything for myself, it means I'm selfish. And her family has told her that explicitly. In some cultures, it's even explicit. It's not just implied. But if you can't want anything for yourself, then life turns out to be not much worth living. People who don't want much for themselves or who aren't allowed to want, they're actually not that much fun to be around. They're not much engaged in life because it's through our wants that we engage with life. We reach out to life. People who aren't allowed to want their own happiness or want good things for themselves, who have to focus on other people's happiness, well, actually, you can't make somebody else happy. So you're kind of losing out there, and you lose out on your own happiness as well. We'll talk more about that later, but that's a really sad one, when people have the idea that it's not okay to want, and anything they want for themselves is selfish. And one of the others that people believe is if they have money, then it means they're taking it from somebody else. This actually also isn't true. You arranging to not have money doesn't put food in somebody else's mouth. The starving children in Africa don't get fed anymore because you're not making money than they would if you do make money. And the more you have, the more you can share. That's just true. One more person struggling doesn't help anybody. And one of the last things that people often believe is that money's not within their control, that they have no control over how much money they're paid or who gives them money. And this one's also not true, but it's one that often runs underground, underneath the other ones. And then we have so many people who think that they just don't deserve to have the good things in life. And this is one that we'll work a lot on in the class if you sign up for Money Magic, because this one is so prevalent and so heartbreaking and so hard to just overcome rationally. But that belief can be changed, and that's a good one to change, because it doesn't serve anybody to have a world full of people who don't think they're deserving, or who think they don't deserve something good, or they deserve bad things. That helps no one. Now, these are just some of the beliefs. There's more than that. They come in all sorts of flavors. Everybody's got some. Now, if you're happy in life, then probably your beliefs are supporting that, and that's actually fantastic. If you're happy with your life, then you probably don't need to listen to all this. And God love you. We're so glad. The more happy people, the better. And if there's something in your life that's not working, then this may be really useful. Now let me tell you how your brain goes about creating your reality from your belief structure. There's something in your brain called the reticular activating system. And basically what it boils down to is it's a part of your brain, a function of your brain, that focuses on what it's already looking for and screens out everything else. Now how this works, there's an apocryphal story about, when who knows if it was true, I certainly wasn't there, but there's an apocryphal story that when the Spanish came to the New World, the native people, seeing the Spanish coming in on the boats, had never seen boats that big, and so their brains actually couldn't conceive of a boat that big, never having seen it, and screened the boats out whatsoever. So it looked like these people were floating in the air above the water, because their brains deleted the boats. And they thought these people were gods. And the shamans, who were more used to seeing things beyond their belief structure, said, oh no, they're not gods, they're men, they're just in really big boats, and in a couple of days you'll be able to see them. And in a couple of days people could see them. Whether that's true or not, I have an example that every one of you has experienced, probably. If you're thinking about getting a new car, and you think, gee, I might like a red Jeep, or a white Corvette, whatever it is, as soon as you start to think about that car, getting that car, all of a sudden, like overnight, the highways and parking lots of the fill up with that kind of car. Whereas yesterday, the day before you started thinking about that, they weren't around that much. But as soon as you start focusing on that, suddenly they're everywhere. The commercials are on TV, have that car. That car's where you go to shop. That car's everywhere, behind you, in front of you, next to you. This is a part of your reticular activating system that screens for, sorts for what it's already looking for, lets that in, and screens out everything else. Now the truth is, there were just as many of those cars the day before, but your brain didn't notice them. Pregnant women tell me the same thing, that when they're pregnant or wanting to get pregnant, suddenly they see pregnant women everywhere. This is your reticular activating system, and it works on everything. So if you have a belief that you have to work hard and struggle, your brain will filter out everything that contradicts that and just let in stuff that confirms that, because that's what it's already looking for. Not consciously, but that is the presets of how your brain is creating its reality. If you have a belief that it's not okay for you to want something for yourself, your brain will let everything in that confirms that and screen everything out that doesn't. If you believe it's just not possible for you to make money or make good money, your brain will let everything that confirms that in, and everything that contradicts that it will screen out. When you change the filters the reticular activating system is using, all of a sudden things are different. Different opportunities show up, different people show up, different possibilities show up. Flat out magic seems to happen. That's the part that feels really magical, when all of a sudden out of the blue, out of nowhere, when you were not doing anything differently, all you have is a different set of belief filters running. All kinds of different experiences kind of seek you out. That's really quite an experience when it happens, and that's the part that feels like magic. So if you've got what you want in your life, then that's fantastic. If not, you may want to stay tuned for more videos. In upcoming videos, there'll be a simple exercise you can try out to show you, give you an experience of what's possible for you. And then later we'll also have a video where you can hear some of the changes that have happened for other people and see if this might be something that would work for you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.